Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reggae Boys Commentary. My name is Simon Richard Latham Rupert Preston. This is the channel where we come together to discuss everything relating to Jamaican football. Thank you so much for joining us. It's another Thursday evening. We started this journey of Thursday Night Lives April 30, 2020. We're almost at the end of the calendar year. Still plenty of exciting content to come, so you want to stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that content to come, where we're going to do a review of 2021 for the Reggae Boys, amongst many other videos. So look out for that, as the week to come is going to be exciting. I promise you. It's going to be one to watch. And I can tell you for certain that you don't want to miss out on it. For sure. I can guarantee you that it's going to be exciting. So that's what you all have to say. We will be having a special guest joining us in a couple of minutes, and he will be able to give us a little bit more insight into the topic that we're discussing, as well as I provide some more information for you all. He will also give a perspective from a Chelsea side of things as well, as a staunch Chelsea fan, doing well on YouTube as well. So without further ado, I want us to introduce a very, very special guest, someone that I'm privileged to call a friend of mine, someone that I know for 11 years, going on 12 years now. One of the most unassuming human beings you'll ever meet. Hardworking, diligent, going places in life, and also for his YouTube channel and the content that you see that he's doing. It doesn't matter if it's schoolboy football, EPL, La Liga, the national team. He can have a conversation with you, and it's credible as well. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome Naranda Brown.
Good night, Simon, and the entire Reggae Boys commentary family. What an introduction.
Yeah.
But
We're coming from far. We're coming from far, man.
True. And proper link up the other day. Not how we wanted it, but better than none at all, eh?
Yeah, you know how the world of work is and everything like that, but there will be other opportunities, and if I am across the Atlantic, I'll check you in next time you're here. We'll make the arrangements. Yeah. How was the family, when you got the opportunity to come on the island, you caught up with everybody?
Yeah. I actually flew in because my wife's mom was in an accident, and I had to drop everything and get down there to sort out some things. But she's recovering now. She's coming on. Everything is good. But apart from that, it was really, really great to see the family. I hadn't seen my mom in 3 years. My dad 2 years, my brother 2 years, my nieces, that sort of thing. So it's always good to see family. You know what people say, that nothing quite like family, and I can attest to that. And you don't really appreciate it that much until you're away from them for some time, and you realize that, okay, I've been missing out on this. But yeah, it is what it is, and the show must go on.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you mean there. But it is good that you were able to touch the shores, even in COVID times. Travel can be quite sticky and frustrating, but it is good that you were able to have that opportunity to come on the island. How are you managing with the snow, the cold right now?
We had a little bit of snow 2 days ago. I think we had a few centimeters. Nothing too crazy, but it's gone now. It's a little bit better. It's a little bit warmer. I think today was +2, with a low of 0. So it wasn't too bad in comparison to the previous days where it was touching -7, -8. So we're coping and trading in the tropical sun for this. You'll never get used to it, eh?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But yeah, guys, as for those of our viewers that are joining as well, this is Naranda Brown from Halftime TV as well. Don't forget to subscribe as well. And at the end of the show, Naranda will give us a bit of insight into other platforms that you might want to reach him out on, Twitter, etc. Naranda, how long have you been a Chelsea fan? From Rossi's days, from before that? When did the journey start?
I've been a Chelsea fan for 20. This year is 21 years.
Wow.
This year is 21 years. I actually started as a Chelsea fan in the year 2000. Was in primary school. All my friends were cheering for Manchester United and Arsenal because at that time those were the big teams. And I was a big admirer of Chelsea, not because of the football or anything, because I hardly saw any of the games, but I knew maybe one or two players that an aunt of mine lived close to the Chelsea stadium in London, and she'd come to Jamaica every now and then, and she'd talk about the team, and I fell in love with it. And in 2009, I think, she took home an original Malouda kit for me, and I still have it now. It's in there. I haven't lost it. Like the shoes couldn't fit me because my feet were too big, but I got the jersey, and Chelsea fan through thick and thin, the good times, the bad times,
Yeah.
straight through, blue blood.
Yeah. Well, quite a journey though, from the Jose days, Avram Grant, etc., the league titles to the dip under Frank Lampard, etc. As you say, it's been a roller coaster.
Yep.
And I'm sure some moments is frustration, but some, like last season, was moments that you cherish, really.
Yeah, and again, you're a Manchester United fan. I'm pretty sure majority of your years cheering for Manchester United, it has been glory. It's a little bit different at Chelsea because our model is a little bit different from Manchester United. You guys oftentimes have a little bit more stability than Chelsea. Your way of doing things different from Chelsea. As such, you had Sir Alex Ferguson for how many years, and then you were trying to replicate that. No, but no, it's kind of looking more like the Chelsea way of doing business for the past few years. But again, we'll see. But again, when you cheer for Chelsea, it's like no other team in England in the EPL, as a matter of fact, just because of how they do business. You may fall in love with a player, may fall in love with a manager, but don't get too tied on it because it's only for a small duration. So when you get in your jerseys, try not to get any names on them.
Yeah, I understand. Well, where this season is concerned, are you pleased with what you're seeing? Because at the start of the season, I tipped you for the title. Do you share similar confidence in your team?
You tipped me for the title, and I think you tipped Manchester United for third.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, that's true.
So that didn't age well, or it hasn't aged well so far. But I think if Chelsea get to their best this season, we should win the title. But so far, I haven't seen them being consistent enough. Still trying to get Lukaku in. Paid almost £100 million for him. You want him to be scoring goals. You want him to be starting in all the games. Before his injury, I think it was 7 or 8 games without a goal, and he came back from the injury and still not registered. So again, you want to see him integrated into the group. Although the goals are being shared around the team, Reece James is our leading goal scorer, 5 goals, 5 assists. It's worrying because Reece James is a right wing back. So we wanted to look a little bit better up top as it relates to the ruthlessness. Something like Liverpool. We want to see something like Liverpool being ruthless in front of goal in the final third. But overall, the team is growing. It's getting better. Bar that performance against Watford yesterday, where we should have lost. I think we're looking better and better by the minute.
Definitely encouraging signs, you'd have to say. And one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on as well was to talk about the players that you have. It's like you have more players on loan than you have in the first team. Is that frustrating to you?
It's actually better now, if I'm to be honest. A few years ago, the number of players that we had on loan, like we could build maybe 3 more Premier League teams. But it's getting a little bit better now because we're actually selling players. So these players who are going out on loan, we're getting money for them, and we're getting good money for them as well. So I think the past 2 or 3 seasons, that season under Frank Lampard, and then onwards, we've sold a number of good players who have come through the academy, have gone out on loan, who've impressed on loan, and then we've gotten some money for them. So I'm a little bit more encouraged by what I'm seeing these days in comparison to what it was a few years ago, where none of the academy players were getting into the first team. We weren't getting any money for any of the academy players as well. It's always a case of running down their contracts and letting them go for little or nothing. So it's looking a little bit better, and I think it will only improve from here on. A lot of the players that we sold as well, they have buyback clauses in there. So if they're improving down the line, the likes of Tino Livramento, Tariq Lamptey, these guys setting the EPL alight. We have Mark Gay, Mark Gay as well. But yeah, it looks a little bit better from a Chelsea perspective, both with the academy players in the first team as well as the academy players who have gone on to build careers for themselves elsewhere in the EPL.
Yeah, I must give credit as well, even though you spoke about the good players that have come back from loan spells, etc. The academy that you have in terms of promoting to the first team, that has to be commended. So I give you credit for that. And I know a lot of our viewers are a bit impatient to talk about this man, but my understanding is that a young man at your club in Lewis Baker, in the new year, he's interested in docking in the black, green, and gold of Jamaica. So I just wanted to know from you, realistically, do you think he has a future at Chelsea, or he may have to look elsewhere for opportunities to play?
I think he needs to look elsewhere for opportunities to play. He's 26 years old now. 26, you're supposed to be playing football week in, week out. You're supposed to be in your prime, knocking the leather every week, for lack of a better term. He was impressive in preseason. I wasn't surprised really to see Thomas Tuchel keeping him throughout this season as a part of the group, because I was that impressed with him throughout the preseason campaign. He can play multiple positions as well. So again, a versatile player that I think will come in handy, but you don't want to be a bit part player. The international caps on the senior level, next to none really. Well, none, because he hasn't represented England. He's represented England at every level throughout the youth stages. But again, as I said, he needs first team football. He needs to be playing in the big league. And I think he has the quality to be playing in the big league. We saw Mark Gay, he decided to take that bold step to go to Crystal Palace. He's a mainstay in that team now, and he's been extremely impressive throughout. I think Lewis Baker, if given the opportunity, if the right club comes along, he can have a similar impact to that of his colleague.
Yeah, and you've seen Lewis come through the academy as well. Do you think he can be a player in the Premier League, or he may have to go down to the Championship and learn his trade?
I'm having a bad feed. I'm not sure what happened there.
I was asking you in terms, can he manage the Premier League? Do you think he's ready for that? The Premier League football week in, week out, or he might have to go down to the Championship?
Well, if Fred can manage the Premier League, I think anyone can.
Wow, you had to go for Fred. Wow.
But on a serious note, though, I think he is Premier League quality. I think if we go through the academy players, and he was one of the standout players in the academy. I think in 2013 or 2014 was Chelsea Academy Player of the Year. He was one of those big players to come through the academy that had the heads turning and that sort of thing. And we saw what he was capable of when he went to Vitesse. 60 odd appearances, almost 30 odd goals or 20 odd goals. So he is Premier League quality, and the bar really is with some of the players playing in the Premier League now, both in midfield and in defense. I think he can more than likely, more definitely, as a matter of fact, get into one of those mid-table teams. He walks into any of those mid-table teams right now.
Mm-hmm. From being outside of the island, do you get an opportunity to watch the Reggae Boys, whether it's a stream online or on the telly? Do you get those opportunities?
On the Canadian television, they don't show the Reggae Boys games. If the Reggae Boys is playing, they won't show it unless it's being played against Canada.
Okay.
But I always stream the games. I find ways to watch football, and for those who tune into my channel, they know I always have like 4 or 5 streams up, whether it is club football or international football. I find streams somewhere, get a VPN from somewhere just to watch the games.
Okay. All right. And based on what you've seen so far, basically halfway through the campaign, I haven't had a chance to speak with you about this. Your general thoughts about the performances in the qualifiers. Don't hold back.
No, and I won't hold back because I think too much folks are on YouTube holding back, and it's either because they're scared that they won't get interviews, or they're scared because they don't want to hurt feelings, and not to deviate too much from the topic. But today I was watching an interview, and Frank Lampard said he felt bad meeting Pogba afterwards, having done a little bit of punditry on a game that Pogba played extremely badly in. So it's things like these that we see. And going back to the question that you asked, I think the performances have been bittersweet. There have been some performances that I think we deserved more. However, there've also been some performances where how do I put this? It was very, very difficult to watch. And I can't stray away from the point that we've been watching and we've been supporting Jamaican football for so many years, and still it's to sit down for 90 minutes, regardless of the patriotism. It's a team, you want to support your team through thick and thin. But some of these guys that are playing, they're not showing enough desire, they're not showing enough guts. Even if the guys are better than you, there shouldn't be any point whatsoever where they're running more than you, or they're showing more desire than you. So I think it's bittersweet. Some of the games, even games that we've lost, I've been encouraged by games that we've lost more than the games that we've actually gotten points. So that's where it's at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially that Mexico game. Certainly, we could have gotten a point. So you're absolutely spot on there. Yeah, disappointing, but certainly 6 games to play for. So we'll see how things sort of turn around. And tying in Lewis Baker as well. Do you think he is somebody that can come into the national team with, say, Anthony Grant? Because sometimes we see Lewis like as a box to box. He can sit a bit deep if needed, but if you look at his heat map, he's willing to go from box to box like Frank back in the day.
Yeah, and I haven't heard what's happening with Casey Palmer.
Well, Casey has a Jamaican passport. I wouldn't say he's out of people's thoughts or minds, but it's as if the performance he gave against the Americans did not capture the heart of the head coach. Okay. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. With Lewis Baker, I definitely think he offers a different dynamic to what we have now. We have midfielders who get the job done, but again, we want midfielders that are more than one-dimensional. Players coming out, you're either a defensive midfielder or you're either this. No, we want someone who, given the circumstances or the situation, can adjust, like a Ruben Loftus-Cheek does. He's playing deep, but he still has that capacity to go forward and to end up in the opposition box. He still has the capacity to string passes and to bring the team 10 or 15 yards forward. So I think with Lewis Baker, he's definitely one who brings all these qualities to the Reggae Boys team. And I think he will give us a whole lot if we are to do well in the next 6 games that we have, because those games will be do or die, really, because it's the end of the road now. So we need to throw it all in. We need to throw a microwave at it and a kitchen sink.
Yeah, spot on there. Really, really, really spot on, because the margin for error, very slim.
Minimal. Yep. So we need points, and we desperately need it. And we, like, as I said, someone who is eager to impress, someone who is craving international minutes, someone who has been around the block for the most part, because he's played in Europe. He's played. He has an EPL winners medal, although he didn't play, but still he has been around some of the most experienced and some of the best players who played in England. So I think why not give him a shot at it?
You know, there's another Chelsea fan in the comments that spoke about Lewis Baker and comparing him to Saul Niguez and Barkley, etc. It's interesting, like when you're nod your head in terms of the plethora of midfield options that you have available to you and what they can do. So for you, going back perhaps 10 years, you might go look at a Chelsea team and see certain individuals that you had, Alex, etc., just in front of the back four and so on. But the midfield options you can reel off with your hand right now.
And again, that's why I told you that the likes of Lewis Baker will walk into any midfielder right now, because if we look at the options that we have there, that's the reason he's not getting in. You get what I'm saying? That's the reason he's not getting in, because the bar is so high. Look, Saul Niguez, Atletico Madrid. He had a few seasons ago. He was Atletico Madrid's best player. Then he couldn't get in Atletico Madrid. They loaned him to Chelsea, and he started twice for Chelsea in the EPL, and he's been half time in both games. And he's a top quality midfielder. So you get what I'm saying? So it's these quality players that he's up against, and I think as a result, we can't judge him fairly based on the fact that, okay, he's not getting any game time at Chelsea. You know what I'm saying? So top quality midfielder. I'm a big fan of him. As I said, I've watched the preseason games, and surprisingly, I'm one who, before the season starts, a month, as soon as the teams go on tour or whatever, I tried to watch all the games, because that's when you get to see some of the youngsters, some of the guys that are doing well in the academy, some of the guys who have gone out on loan, that sort of thing. And you want to see them, because sometimes you hear some names and you're like, okay, did this guy play for Chelsea? You're surprised. You get what I'm saying? Because they've been on loan for so long. So exactly. I pay keen attention to the preseason games, and as I said, I was quite impressed with Lewis Baker. There was one game where I think Thomas Tuchel gave him the captain's armband. He moved from centre half to left of the centre half, and then he went into midfield. He played 3 positions in that particular game. So I am intrigued by him and the capacity of him, his knowledge of the game. It doesn't seem to end here.
And what's frightening as well, Naranda, is that you have Billy Gilmore on loan. You have
Conor Gallagher.
Gallagher is a baller, absolutely, and you know, and those are just the midfield options. We haven't spoken about Ampado, a defender who can play as a whole midfielder.
Midfielder as well. We have Josh McEachran as well, who is a very good midfielder. We have a lot of players on loan, and again, that's what I'm saying. It's kept competitive. It's kept competitive, so no one feels too comfortable in their seat, because there's always someone coming in who wants to play and wants to prove themselves. So Armando Broja at Southampton, he's giving in a good shift as well. Can possibly come in and get rid of Timo Werner. We never know, because he seems to have the credentials to be a Premier League striker. So we're watching, and I think with Lewis Baker being around all these quality players, he can only get better. And it's been a number of years now that he's been around these type of players. So that's why I want him to be given the opportunity, because an England call-up, if it were to be realistic, it's not going to happen. And if it's going to happen, it won't happen anytime soon.
All right, fair enough. Declan Rice, Calvin Phillips ahead in the pecking order, Jordan Henderson. Yeah. All right.
He won't get in, because even Trevor Chalobah, I know he probably won't play for England, but if Gareth Southgate is considering him, he still can play as a defensive midfielder as well, because that's where he played last season, out on loan. So there are too many options there for him to realistically think he stands a chance, especially with these individuals who are ahead of him, who are playing week in, week out. You get what I'm saying? All these guys that we mentioned, these are guys who are playing, who are featuring week in, week out. Trevor Chalobah, for one, he started off well, given another opportunity, and he built on that. So it's going to be difficult.
Yeah. I mean, you and I haven't had an opportunity to speak about this lad in particular as much. If you haven't seen him, I can understand. Dujon Sterling is also out on loan, a right back, Jamaican parents as well.
I've seen him, and he has been with Chelsea for quite some time too. There was one season, I think 2 or 3 seasons ago, I actually thought he was going to get into the team. And then we sent him out on loan again. But it's one of those things. It's one of those things.
Yeah. Yeah, and we spoke about the names already of who is on loan, the Gallaghers, the Sterlings, etc., and Billy Gilmore, Emerson Bakayoko. Realistically, do you see a handful coming back next season to be part of your first team?
Well, everyone wants to be a part of something or of a winning team, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Kennedy, I'm a big fan of Kennedy. I think at Chelsea, he wasn't given a fair shot. I think we expected him to play in a position where it wasn't his natural position, if we're to be realistic. He was a left winger. We wanted him to play left back. Not going to happen. They did it with Marcos Alonso. It's working now, because if for those who watch football or have been watching football for the longest while, Marcos Alonso was a left winger. He's a left midfielder. He's a midfielder by trade, and then he went to Fiorentina, because even at Sunderland he was a midfielder. And he went to Fiorentina. They turned him into a defender, and then Chelsea bought him back as a defender. But for those who are out on loan, Ethan Ampadu, I'm a big fan of him. Billy Gilmore as well. No, Billy has started to get his minutes under his belt with Dean Smith over there at Norwich now. Conor Gallagher, I think of all those who are on loan, he stands the best chance of breaking into the first team, if we're to be real here, especially with N'Golo Kante and his nagging injury problems. Conor Gallagher, definitely a like-for-like replacement in that midfield, and he chips in with a few goals here and there too.
I tell you what, you can sell me Conor Gallagher, and I'll give you Fred.
I wouldn't take Fred for free. After what he did today, I wouldn't take Fred for free, to be honest.
Yeah, but you honestly, just slightly on a tangent from an England perspective, I don't know how the midfield is going to work out, because you have Gallagher that can operate there, and you have this guy at Leeds United, Joe Gelhardt, and then you talk about the Grealishes of this world, the Fodens, the Mounts. Honestly, somebody is going to be left home. No, somebody's not going to go Qatar, and it's going to be head scratching for Southgate, honestly.
True, but I think with how Gareth Southgate plays, it's going to be an easy decision for him, because he's going to want those hardworking midfielders. He's going to put them first. So first and foremost, he will say, okay, who's going to die for the team? Who is going to be running 90 minutes non-stop, no walking on the pitch? So Mason Mount and Declan Rice, they're shooting. So they go in first, and then anyone else who pops up. Conor Gallagher, as I mentioned, he is showing some desire. He's running, and he's the type of midfielder that Gareth Southgate fancies. So we'll see. We'll definitely see, because he offers something. Jordan Henderson as well.
Yeah.
Decisions.
Yeah. Calvin Phillips, Declan Rice, Jordan Henderson. Yeah. The hard working, because you could say it almost worked at the Euros. People are going to complain about two defensive midfielders, this, that, and the other, but it's what he did. And at the World Cup, he went with 3 at the back, and many people cussed him for that. But we'll see, and we'll see which other player of Jamaican heritage might come into the mix.
Sure. The players of Jamaican heritage, they'll keep popping up, folks. So don't worry. Especially next year is the World Cup year. The media folks, especially. Even if you are not aware of those with Jamaican heritage, the folks in the media, especially the British media, they will be doing everything to ensure, because we are taking it lightly when news breaks that these individuals are of Jamaican heritage or of ex-heritage. No, their agents are working tirelessly to ensure that the national coaches of these teams, for England, for Jamaica, for Nigeria, for wherever these persons can play for, they know that these players are eligible to play for them. So, for example, Simon qualifies to play for England, and he qualifies to play for Jamaica as well. England is first choice. Probably England's coach isn't giving Simon the opportunity. Norando, as Simon's agent, we leak it to the newspaper. Simon is eligible and is drawing interest from the Jamaican national team. All of a sudden, the England national coach hears about Simon, is wondering who this Simon is, and takes the opportunity to go watch Simon for a few games to see if Simon fits in. So it's all craft in this thing, folks. And we just think it just comes out of the blue. No, these are agents who are paid millions of dollars to ensure that their clients get the best deal both in international football and in club football. All right.
Yep, you hit the nail on the head perfectly there, and that's exactly what happened to Calvin Phillips, and that is exactly why he ended up with the Three Lions and not with the Reggae Boys. Yep, spot on there. Mm-hmm. And just so the viewers that are just tuning in as well, personally, Naranda, just to replicate what you're saying, you don't think Lewis has a future with either England or Chelsea long term, honestly?
No. Because again, we just mentioned the number of midfielders out for Chelsea. No, the midfielders coming back in, and the ones we have. Chelsea will be looking to compete on all fronts, the EPL, for the Champions League, all of that. And I mentioned that Lewis Baker is probably a mid-table kind of midfielder. That's the qualities he has, and that's why he is so far down the pecking order. For Chelsea long term, he's 26 years old. How much farther we're talking here? Because Chelsea isn't the kind of club who is going to give you the opportunity to grow and to find your strides. You either hit the ground running or find another club. And he's 26 now. Will he be willing to wait for 4 or 5 more years when he's 30, 31? No, it doesn't make any sense. And as a professional footballer, this is the time. This is when you're going to get the big deals, the big bucks, the big moves. If you're to get any, you need to do it. You need to make it happen. Kurt Zouma, we saw what he did. He decided that, okay, now is the time. I need to get in France's national team for the World Cup next year. I need to make the move, and he made the move to West Ham. He's been a beast since moving to West Ham. So again, folks, I think the smart thing to do for this young man is to find another club. Find another club where he is going to be playing. And Championship, I wouldn't even go to Championship. I think he has the quality to play in the EPL, and I stand by that. I think he has the quality to play in the EPL, especially considering some of the midfielders that are starting for some of the big clubs, especially big clubs that wear red in the EPL.
And I'm going to be honest with you, Naranda. When I saw Victor Moses going loan to West Ham, I thought that was it. This is 4 loans now. I can't see him back at the Blues. Conte gave him a chance.
Exactly. Right. But again, with who that's basically hoping for something to work out. Remember, you're hoping. You can't hope at 26. When Victor Moses went on these loans, he was early 20s, 22, 23. So you have to bear in mind, okay, how old am I? Where am I in my career? Can I afford to take another chance? You get what I'm saying? So no, I think he needs to do it now. Chelsea, I think Victor Moses was a one-off case where it popped up, it happened for him. But at Chelsea especially, probably if it were another club, I would have said maybe. But at Chelsea, because 1, Chelsea has money to go out and buy quality players. 2, the academy players know who are out on loan. The players who are out on loan, who are playing well on loan, week in, week out, they will have a better chance than him who is actually in training with the squad, not getting any game time whatsoever. So he's probably even farther down the pecking order than we initially thought, if I'm to go into the intricacies.
I'll be quite frank with you. I'm sorry it never worked out for Lucas Piazon. After his debut, I thought, yes, 1 season on loan, this guy's going to come back. But you know the drill, changes of managers. I have a different view of you, etc., etc. It's unfortunate because of the talent that was at the disposal at the time.
Big talent. And again, as I said, when you see, if it's a club that's looking to build from within and to grow, it's fine. You can do whatever you want. But a club like Chelsea, who has the monetary backing of an oligarch, you can't chance it. You can't hope for something to work out. You get what I'm saying? Because you may be saying, okay, next season is my season, and then another midfielder pops up in Europe that's setting the world alight, and Roman Abramovich opens his wallet and says, okay, we need to get this player at Chelsea right now. So all of a sudden, instead of you being second in the pecking order, you're now a third because someone comes in for $40-50 million, and that person who comes in is not going to be sitting on the bench week in, week out. Yes, so
yeah, I understand. Just addressing one of the comments from someone, Ramoy Reed. Hello, Simon. Hope all is well. Any updates regarding to Reece Oxford, Jamie Lawrence, Raheem Harper, Gray, Justin, Omar Richards, Lewis Baker? Okay, Reece Oxford. So people might not know his grand uncle is Neville Oxford, the former Kingston College legend. And Neville Oxford has said that Reece is open to the opportunity of representing Jamaica. That's basically what he has said. Jamie Lawrence, his focus is on entering the Bayern Munich first team at this point in time. Harper's interested. We know the situation with Gray. James Justin has a setback with injury. Omar Richards is trying to settle into life in Germany. Lewis Baker would provide the balance we need. Lewis Baker and Anthony Grant, that would be a nice little combination in Naranda in midfield. It would be interesting.
Yep. Again, considering the quality that we're working with now and what we've done with it, definitely an upgrade.
Yeah. Well, honestly, Naranda, I really, really appreciate your time coming on to speak about Lewis Baker, Chelsea, the Premier League, etc. Before you tell us, where we can find you on YouTube and other social media platforms, you think you're going to defend the Champions League?
Champions League?
Yeah. Because you're going to win the league.
It's knockout competition, and it can go anywhere. And with Lewandowski now coming off the disappointment of not winning the Ballon d'Or, I think he probably might have something to say with his teammates. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed, not dwelling on it too much. If Chelsea wins it, fine. But I think a semi-final berth is the least I'm giving Chelsea at this point.
All right, fair enough. For you, does Lukaku have to score 20-25 goals to be successful for you? Because at United, his expectation was through the roof, honestly.
Again, when it comes down to Lukaku, folks are going to say he came in for 90 million. He needs to be scoring week in, week out, blah, 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 blah. I'm not one that's big on that. I want the team to win, and as long as he's contributing positively to the team winning, then I'm fine. But you're coming for 90 million, people expected to score 20-25 goals, if we're to be realistic. Timo Werner, a lot of folks said he was a flop last season. I didn't think he was a flop. I was actually happy with his performance throughout the majority of the season. He missed some sitters, don't get me wrong, that would make some very hilarious reels on Instagram and on YouTube. But what he did off the ball, his pressing, the energy that he gave up front, I was satisfied. And I think he was one of the key members in that team that contributed to us winning the Champions League, regardless of how some folks may analyze it and assess it. I think Timo Werner hasn't done as bad as the media has portrayed him to be doing so far in a Chelsea shirt. His goals and assists, statistics don't always tell the full story, and that's why I don't dwell on statistics too much. He gives a whole lot more than goals and assists to the team. But Lukaku, back to Lukaku case, I think you pay $95 million for somebody, you expect them to score 20-25 goals. And if it doesn't end with at least double figures in goals, folks are going to say it was a bad season, regardless.
Yeah. Fair enough. I can understand that. Naranda, again, thanks for coming on. I really, really appreciate it. You're welcomed anytime to pop in, either through the comments or through a chat like this. If people want to ask you any questions or to get to know more about you, where can they find you?
All right. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Halftime TV. Twitter, J_analyst21. Facebook, Naranda Brown. I think that's it. Naranda Brown on Facebook, J_analyst21 on Twitter, and Halftime TV on Instagram. You can't miss it. All right, you'll see a bald guy with a blue background.
Yeah. Yeah. And just before we go, just want to reminisce a bit. 10 years ago, Russia's champions of the D Cup. Can you just imagine that? I just can't believe that time has gone by so quickly. We're
Time,
talking about Brian Brown. Jeez, man.
time.
Because of course you're alma mater, and I just wanted to share that with you.
Yeah, blessings, Brian Brown too. I was speaking with him 2 days ago because he flew into Jamaica the day before I left. So we were having a small discussion. Good friend of mine still. I'm actually still friends with all the members of that 2010 team. We have a WhatsApp group and all of us talk on a daily basis. Anthony Walker, Lushane Alcott, Richard Trench, Nico DeHart, and everybody. But yeah, they're still doing their thing. A few of them still playing, albeit not professional, but recreational level. We know class is permanent, and once you have it, you have it. So
yeah.
this is what it is. But blessings the entire 2010 team. Emerson Diggy Henry, the man himself, one of the best football coaches to ever grace that rock we call Jamaica. A genius, brilliant, one of the most brilliant football minds I've come across.
Honestly, I thought Stets would have won it, but Brian Brown just pops up with a goal at the right time. Boy, I tell you, such a talented squad. I'm telling you.
True, definitely.
Memories. I tell you.
True. Time going by so fast. We don't even realize we're old now. We're adult. We're adulting. We're adulting.
Yeah.
A decade ago, we were in high school, running up and down behind schoolboy football and hoping one day to be doing something regarding football or whatever. And here we are. So it is what it is. Life is what you make it, and we continue going forward, hoping for the best and putting in the work to ensure that work is transitioned into results.
Absolutely. It has been quite a journey. Again, bro, thanks very much for coming on. We'll be in touch as always. And yeah, take it easy.
All right, take care of yourself, Simon. Reggae Boys commentary and the entire family. Have a wonderful night. Halftime TV saying until next time. Peace out.
All right. Thank you very much, boss. Much appreciated. That was Naranda Brown, everybody, from Halftime TV. Go and check out his channel, subscribe to his content for more as he talks everything relating to football, national team, EPL, schoolboy football, you name it, everything football related on his channel. Really talented, really knowledgeable Naranda Brown. We go back 11 years ago. It's been quite a journey, I tell you. But yeah, decent human being and one of the most coolest characters to get along with, honestly. So really check it out. Adam McGregor pops in and says, what is the latest on Tapper? The latest is that Theodore Tapper Whitmore is the head coach of the Reggae Boys, and that has not changed. And like I said in my video a couple of weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, I said that if the JFF executive accepts the decision to remove Theodore Whitmore as head coach of the Reggae Boys, I told you that a man who was born in Manchester, England, a man who went to the World Cup for Jamaica, a man who is one of the assistant coaches for Jamaica, would take over. And that is if he's accepted. So, let's see. Let's see if it'll be accepted. I understand a member of the executive. Let's just say that there are mixed views on the executive of whether he should stay or go. Let's just put it that way. So, just like everything else in life, guys, be patient and good things will fall into place. It will. It will. Simon, is it true that at Hillel they have Gatorade water coolers? Yes, it is true. It is true. Well, Lucozade. If Tapa stays the coach, I'm done with the Reggae Boys until he leaves. I respect you, my friend. RFC50 says, the roof is on fire. Raise the roof for Kema Roof. Raise the roof for Kema Roof. Raise the roof for Kema Roof. 7 points clear now. 7 points clear atop the Scottish Premiership. Brilliant. Brilliant lad. And I must give him credit for what he has done, honestly. Long may the goals continue, and has a long-term contract at Chelsea. If I haven't at Rangers, sorry. If I haven't already, thank you everybody for tuning in thus far. I see the comments coming in. Mr. Blake, Stan Kroenke, big up yourself, Mr. Kroenke. I really, really appreciate the views that you share on other social media platforms. You know, you speak a lot of sense, and long may that continue. Alrighty? Long may that continue. It's not a lot of people can think logically and take out the emotions in the same breath. So long may that continue. Fabrizio Romano has posters of Simon Preston on as well. Big up, Shamar. Big up, big up, big up. Yes, top man. No mate, only 4, but will win the league. 56. Yeah. I think he will. I think he will win the league. I think Steven Gerrard has laid a solid platform, and I honestly don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to replicate what you did last season. I think it was a shrewd move by purchasing Kemaru from Anderlecht. It clearly shows that there was research done on the type of player, and I believe the footage that was analysed by the Rangers executive was from his time at Leeds United, so they saw what he did south of the border and everything of that nature, so that was good. Ian Campbell says the same thing that J. Ross says as well. Okay. Well, I'm a Jamaican, so we have to support the team. Alexia is sure. Okay, you guys are having your own conversation. Okay. Lee Young says, what is the latest deal with Lewis Baker? Oh, you're just tuning in, my friend, Lee Young. The deal is that Lewis Baker is ready and wants to play for Jamaica. But you all know the situation. Needs help. Help the man. Help the man know where to go in London. Help the man to go, because footballers cannot do everything on their own. Kroenke is articulate with good diction, but speaking a lot of sense might be going a bit too far. No, I'm an objective individual, I would say, so I wouldn't stretch the truth by any imagination. I wouldn't stretch it. I would say the only flaw is that he's probably an Arsenal fan, but apart from that, I think he speaks sense. Eddie Guna says, big up everybody. Big up, sir. From sports down the middle. Lloyd Stewart, Simon, do you have any insight on the coaches that are said to be under consideration? Paul Hall. Any update on Redmond James Justin? Redmond is like, James is still recovering from injury. I've seen a comment today about Boza going to Arsenal. No, it's basically an article that he's an Arsenal fan and that his dream is to play for Arsenal. Manchester United is my club, so tomorrow morning we should do an article that says Simon Preston's dream club is Manchester United. Does that mean that Manchester United is going to buy Simon Preston tomorrow morning? No. Yes, Gerrard is Rangers' hero for stopping 9.5 in a row, and Kemaru is Rangers' best striker. Love him. Kemaru's a G, honestly, and he's the first Jamaican international to win the Scottish Premiership since the 1940s and 50s. Jill Heron Scott with Celtic. Next comment. Simon, Weaga support headache and friend time up now. I've told you guys already that Coach Theodore Tapper Whitmore is not my friend. He is an acquaintance to me. I wouldn't call Tapper a friend. A friend is somebody that you par with on a Friday night. A friend is who you have a hold of Guinness with. A friend is who you speak to on WhatsApp on a regular basis, not daily, but regular basis. If you talk to somebody every day, that's either a relationship, work, or family. Yeah. Ben Johnson, Walker Peters, Tyreek Mitchell, Max Aaron, Justin James. Ben Johnson will have a conversation in January. Walker Peters has not been contacted. Tyreek Mitchell would be ready if called upon. Max Aaron still waiting in England, and James Justin is still injured. Good win today, Simon. Eddie. Me never watched the game. Me never watched the game. All I know is that Ronaldo scored 2, Bruno scored 1. I think Odegaard scored for you guys. That's all I know. But me telling already, Me telling already, say you can't win on my yard, Can't win on my yard. Sorry. I had to be handling some Spanish obligations, Que tengo que hacer para que vuelvas conmigo? Vamos a dejar el pasado atrás. Para mí la vida no tiene sentido si te vas. O hacen el tengo tu cao cuando lo bailo de lado. So I had some Spanish obligations to take care of today. Tarek Mitchell wants to play for Jamaica. He does. Flex Supreme, the DJ, says, question Simon, how the Flame potential Finch move going? Has he decided on which side he's going to get yet? Flame potential? Family. Are we say family? Love of famo to my heart. 25 years of friendship right there. Timur Peterkin says, which club do you think Shamar Nicholson will fit him better? Honestly, I don't think he's ready for England right now. But if you ask me what will be a good fit for him, I would think that Everton would be good because Duncan Ferguson will help him with his aerial ability. Honestly. It was fun watching two soft teams go at each other today. What, Brentford and Tottenham? Okay. I can't believe my cousin them don't know the great Simon Preston School Challenge quiz. I'm watching the program right now. For just to catch up people, there was a question on School Challenge quiz about look at the monitor and identify this person, and my face came on the screen, and the kid said, Hugh Shearer. Well, I'm clearly not a dead man, so yeah. Simon, do you think Cantwell will ever play for Jamaica? No, I don't. And is it true Klinsmann is interested? Jurgen Klinsmann? Reese Oxford, any updates? He's open to the idea. Well, the only way that Brandon can play for Jamaica is if he marries his girlfriend. Is he going to marry his girlfriend so that he can get a Jamaican passport? We'll have to wait and see where Brandon is concerned. We'll have to wait and see. Why is the organization so silent? Where do we begin, my friend? It's the end of the year. Everybody's busy preparing for the festive season, and their priorities about ensuring that they get their bonus and everything like that. You love your family, but do you trust them all? Good question. My immediate family? Yes. One Brogard, Simon, I know it's early, but what do you think will happen to Ravel with the season finish? Honestly, whether Derby County avoids relegation or survives, avoids relegation or get relegated, I think this will be his only season at the club, and then he'll be playing at another team. Honestly. The only way I think he would stay at Derby, well, it wouldn't be the reason, but the only way I would see him staying at Derby is if Derby gets promoted to the Premier League, but me and you both know that's not going to happen. Simon, you only talk about players wanting to play for Jamaica. Connect the players to Devon or myself to assist them. I think it's important for Jamaican fans to know about the interest. And I have spoken to players in the past about connecting as well. But I can't connect with 958 players from the Premier League down to the conference. No, I can't do that. 958 players. But what I can say is that you have persons that have a responsibility to do that, even if it's for 10% of those players. I'll continue doing my part, and I will not stop that. I'll not stop that as long as I'm alive. So, I've said what I've had to say. Please be clear. You can't say both Cataract and Conquer speak sense. You have to pick a side. None of this Switzerland behavior. Really? So I either have to say, so I have to choose between. You're really making me choose? So I can't say both people talk sense, really? Oh, boy. The Junior Fleming situation to France is basically like this. December, the market is not open. So January is when you can have more about this. Darby is not staying up. Simon, is the money them see on you? Why them see your name Hugh Shearer? Let's move on from that. Sean Kingston. Kingston. So Simon, what's the deal? The deal is that we're going to wrap up the live in another 3 minutes or in 30 seconds. It's a prem move on the horizon for Boza. Not in January. Wonder who will buy the English Money League next year. Moy Reid, he hasn't been great recently, but Ben Godfrey especially. Yeah, we still have a shot with Ben, in my opinion, but we're going to have to wait some time because Ben's going to feel that he could make even a provisional 30-man squad for England. Stephen Ramdeen, Simon, do you think the Reggae Boys needs a facility like St. George's Park? Technically speaking, we do in the Captain Horse World Center of Excellence, but personally, I just don't think it's enough. I like the facility. Don't get me wrong. I like what is inside, the rooms, the computer facilities where players can be able to watch back their footage and go online and do video analysis. Trust me, I love Captain Horse World Center of Excellence, but I just don't think there's enough pitches there, honestly. Personally, I don't think there's enough pitches. I personally would be happier with 2 more pitches at a facility. It's a start, but I think it's perhaps 1/5 of what St. George's Park is. But I would honestly say, look, France, after they missed out on World Cups in 1990 and 1994, they created Clairefontaine, the 198 World Cup. St. George's Park with England won an under-17 or under-20 World Cup, a World Cup semi-final, gone to countless number of women's semi-finals as well. So slowly but surely reaping the rewards there. So I do think a national centre would be good. The Captain Horse World Centre of Excellence is a start. Is there more space at UWE? Honestly, you're not going to knock down the Georgia Lane Hall. You're not going to knock down towers. So what do you do? Honestly, build another pitch. Simon, we're not friends by that definition. You did not speak to me on WhatsApp today. You're my friend. You're my friend, though. I've said it, people. Cataract is my friend. I've said it, and the whole world knows. Cataract is my friend. And this is not because he gave me a national award 8 years ago. It has nothing to do with that. Cataract is my friend. Are you happy now, Mr. Blake? Good. Is there space for 2 more pitches? Honestly, no. 1 more pitch could be built, but 2 more? No. I think the Center of Excellence should have been on its own property. Yep, I agree. I can understand why you say this as well. Do we go somewhere central like Clarendon where you have the ability to bring in players together? Somewhere in Hayes, somewhere in Maypen, somewhere in Lioneltown? Because prime real estate in Kingston is gone. Everything is residential now in Kingston apart from hotels, restaurants, corporates. Everything else is residential. Should we terminate Manning Cup this year since Calabar is likely out? I'm going to do a video about the Manning Cup soon. Don't worry. And I'll tell you the reason why there's been a delay. Boza could fit in a championship team. Nottingham Forest, yes. Coventry, Reading, he could do a job at Reading. Yeah, Mandeville would be a good job. Celtic have confirmed they have written to their own supporters reminding them that they need to wash before attending matches. Really? They told them to wash before matches. I had no idea of that, honestly. But thanks for sharing with me. El Padrino says, big up Simon, Team Cataract, and you said Tapa out. Okay. Why is everybody on the agenda? What about the option they have in 2003 on a property in healthy Portmore? I'm going to be honest with you, my friend. I have no idea what happened to that. Let me make this clear, brain drain. My father went to Calabar. My father is a legend at Calabar, the first man in the history of boys champs to win Class 2 shot put and discus. My brother went to Calabar and did football and cricket there. So I have a soft spot for that institution. Even though I did not play or attend that institution, I have a soft spot for that institution, even though I never attended it. It's because it's in my blood. So when it comes to high school sports, I do have a soft spot for them after my alma mater, Hillel Academy. But no, I don't think that Calabar needs to. I don't think, well, schoolboy football would have to. You get what my drift. What do you think of Duncan Ferguson? Or Duncan McKenzie, because Duncan Ferguson is the coach at Everton. I think you mean Duncan McKenzie, because Duncan Ferguson is at Everton. Duncan Ferguson a good youth. If Duncan Ferguson go JC win Money Cup every year. It's been reported that Everton that's the report. The Arsenal thing is about Shamar Nicholson being an Arsenal fan. That's the situation. I mean, Portmore's a few minutes drive outside of Kingston, and it's not that central as Clarendon, but it's close. Yeah. Property, my friend. Property. Where are we going to find the property? That is the question. The location. Because that is the situation. What is going to be done? What is going to be done to ensure that all of this comes to place? So that's something for us to really, really consider. What do you think about Davis at Aston Villa? Good player, but I wouldn't say tomorrow morning give him a national call-up. Give him time, let him develop, let him hone his craft, let him grow, because that's what I feel is necessary. Yes, sir. You can look up the history of Calabar because Herb McKinley was my father's coach. But enough about me. Teddy Lee Gray has already spoken about that already. But Reggae Boys fans, I appreciate your comments. I appreciate everything that you have said to me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really do appreciate it. David Nicholson says, do you really think we can make a World Cup with Tapa? I'm going to be honest with you guys. And I've always been honest with you guys. Just like every other coach in the world, Tapa has limitations. He does. But every coach in the world has limitations. Even Thomas Tuchel has limitations. Even Jurgen Klopp has limitations. But I repeat my point and say, you bring in a new coach now. He's going to want his style, his players. You take 2 games to gel with the new players that you have. We have 4 games left. And now we put ourselves in a situation where if we don't win the last 4 games, we can't even get 4th. Look, the answer is Team Cataract. All right, done. The point is this: I'm not the biggest fan of the current head coach, but as long as he's in the job, I'm going to give him the support. Everybody knows my thoughts when he took over in 2016, what I thought. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. And you have to be objective and you have to be credible. It was hard. The Mexico game, we could have gotten a point there. The Panama game, if COVID red list and everything like that weren't in the fold, then we could have gotten something from that game too. The Costa Rica game, we should have gotten 3 points in that game. The Canada game, it should have been 3 points. The El Salvador game, a late equalizer. And if those results had gone in our favor, we could be singing a different song right now. Honestly, we could be singing a different song right now. So I will understand and I will accept the frustration. 100%. And I, same one, told you as well that we had Gold Cup 2017, 19, 21, Nations League, Friendlies, Caribbean Cup to introduce these individuals that were not. And it was the United States game this year, a mere 6 months before the qualifiers, that we started to see the new faces, when these new faces should have been in from Gold Cup 2017 and 2019. So you all know my thoughts about the head coach already, but guess what? I personally, me, Simon Preston, I'm giving him the January window because I feel we're finding a bit of a rhythm. And I know ifs won't count, and I know could-haves and should-haves is not absolutes. I know. Was it Tapa's fault why we conceded a late equalizer against El Salvador? No. Not every single decision is his fault. The players have to take some of the blame as well. O'Neal Fisher has been released by LA Galaxy. Yep, he's no longer at LA Galaxy. He's now going to be searching for another club in his career. So, Reggae Boys fans, what are your thoughts? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary. Take care, guys. Take care. More to come. Trust me.